Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome back to Fallout New Vegas, You Only Live Once. Well, last time, we moseyed up to the Remcon test site, and bloody hell did that work out nicely for us. Not only do I have a great new suit of light armor, but on top of that, I have now got 10 coking stealth boys, which is like twice as many as I was expecting to have at this point in the game. We have been so lucky. And we've even got a bloody nice number of laser and plasma rifles off the Bright Brotherhood corpses too. So, okay, put all that together, and we are in a very, very good shape though. Speaking of which, right, for the first time, yes, we're actually close to my bloody weight capacity, so, okay, we better, sell some of this stuff to the local stores. Oh, and speak of the devil, a perfect flipping timing. We've got a passing, travelling merchant just moseying through town here. Oh, bloody hell. This random trader has got the upgrade I have been waiting for so bloody long, since I was denied it way back at the Mojave Outpost. So, finally, we can put some nails in our bloody baseball bats. That gets this baseball bat from, 21 damage and thus 40 DPS, all the way up to 27 damage and 52. And that is really bloody nice, because, do not forget, the entire point of this here baseball bat is that I can take that damage and double it anytime I want to, from 27 up to 54. Once you start doing that, this baseball bat outperforms a huge number of weapons you'd think would be vastly better. This thing can happily take you into the middle late game. It is a monster. And on top of that, yes, the bat does look a lot more cocking and vicious all of a sudden. And okay, before I forget, just nip over to Cliff Briscoe, clear out plenty of the rest of this stuff for even more money, but yes, before we move on, there's one more very important thing I do need to do right here in Novak. Here we go, right next to the dinosaur. We need to go and pay a visit to Ranger Andy's bungalow. Because Ranger Andy is, would you believe, a ranger in the NCR. Meaning, 1, he's got some very interesting stories, and 2, he can teach me how to do something very interesting indeed. So specifically, we want to ask after his leg.
A few years back, we get a tip that some Legion slavers were holed up in this burnt-out house a few clicks from where we were stationed. We get there and it's deserted. No sign anyone's been there. I mean, nothing. As we're leaving, I hear something behind me. I turn around and there's this kid, just skin and bone, and he's looking up at us and he's scared half to death. Been hiding in a closet. I go to grab him out of there and I notice he's holding something in his hand. Something metal. He shuts himself back in the closet, and that's when I see the grenade he's left by my feet. They do it a lot, the Legion, using kids. They know we'll hesitate. Anyway, that was the first time. Second time, I fell down those stairs in front of the motel, just in case I got to thinking I'd put it all behind me.
So there we go. We've got the story about what happened to him, together with, yes, a rather horrifying glimpse into some of the tactics the Legion use on occasion. But more importantly, with Speecher 30, we can reassure him that he's still very useful, and indeed, we're actually here because what we want is his knowledge.
Huh. People don't exactly line up to find out what's in my head. Can't remember the last time someone suggested I knew something worth knowing. You know, maybe there's something I can do for you. Since you've gone to all the trouble of flattering a crippled old soldier, there's a move we have in the Rangers for knocking an opponent off his feet. Saved my butt a bunch of times, maybe it will for you too. Let me show you how it's done.
So this here is the Ranger Takedown, the first of the unarmed special moves, because, yes, in this game, unarmed combat and melee combat work very differently. And we'll get to why in just a second, but yes, while Ranger Andy has moseyed over to his table to have a quick bite to eat, we'll also just be stealing that medical journal, because, you know, that there is 3 skill points, and men tats worn off too. Lovely. You have a first aid box too. Beautiful. I'll be having a little bit of that. Stim packs are very valuable to sell. So okay, keep on keeping on. It's time to, yes, discuss some advanced combat tactics. So, like we were seeing just a second ago, melee weapons in New Vegas, the trick is that all of them have got their own unique special attack, like Grand Slam right here. Unarmed weapons, meanwhile, work a little bit differently, which is, yes, the big unarmed attacks you can learn in this game, they're not tied to the individual weapons. Instead, you find people around New Vegas, and you learn them, and then once that's done, any unarmed weapon can do them. So in the case of these here spiked knuckles, and now that we know the range of takedown, if I'm just moving backwards as I would be doing if, say, you know, a melee enemy were running at me, if I just hold down attack to do a power attack, we do that big palm strike, which is what the range of takedown looks like, or rather, what it looks like in first person. In third person, it looks way more badass, because yeah, if you do it like that, you do a really cool leg sweep, which is so much more badass, but yes, for some reason it works completely differently in a first or third person. And what this does is it knocks down an enemy. And that's really interesting if you think about it. Because up to now, if we needed to knock down an enemy, we needed to go over to the 9-iron. The problem being, the 9-iron isn't actually that strong, the damage is only 17. But unarmed weapons, I could just do that takedown with any unarmed weapon, meaning someone gets hit by that takedown, they do take the full damage of the Spike Knuckles power attack, as well as being knocked down, and let's just say, yes, that's only the start. Unarmed weapons, once they get going, oh bloody hell, they get ridiculous. For now though, let's stick with our brand new nailed up baseball bat, and yes, talk about what we're going to be doing today. Because my original plan was mosey northwards and maybe pop into Boulder City and make my way towards New Vegas. But yes, like I was saying a second ago, I've got a lot more bloody stealth boys than I was anticipating, which does open up some interesting opportunities. So yes, today I'm going to kick off with something maybe a little bit unusual, which is I'm heading eastwards to go and hang out in Nelson for a bit. And yeah, for the most part this should be nice and calm. Nothing really on the road between me and Nelson, so as long as I keep my head down, don't go too far south, and thus get nearby to a bunch of golden geckos in that direction, we should be nice and calm here on the roads. This also brings me past something very useful. Could have picked up, yes, this before, but I didn't really think about it at the time, which is, here we go. Couple of corpses are just sitting on the ground here. Legion corpses, to be precise. Because I want to grab a little bit of a Legion recruit armor. So yeah, once again, just stay away from those ruins to the south. Keep on moseying eastwards. And in no time whatsoever, we should be running into a new friend. Here we go, an NCR checkpoint, a bunch of NCR troopers, and most importantly of all, Ranger Milo, who hilariously, yes, you can sort of run up towards and then get him to come up to you to speak to you, but then back away, and he's not allowed to roam too far from this outpost, so then he'll just go back to his starting position till you get close enough again. So, yeah, you can just taunt Ranger Milo all day, every day, if you want. But, okay, that's enough of that, Ranger Milo. Let's me and you have a nice chat.
Hold up there. This area is locked down by the NCR military until we can dislodge some Legion snakes from Nelson.
And yes, indeed, I can introduce myself, say hello, I'm PD Shoot, you've probably heard of me.
My apologies, but that name and face ain't ringing the old school bell upstairs. Afraid I can't let you through until the situation is resolved.
Tragically, it turns out I'm nowhere near as famous as I was assuming. And yes, basically, he's only saying that because right now I don't really have much in the way of an NCR reputation. However, that doesn't really matter, because if you can just pass the speech check, he's happy to work with you anyway.
Fair enough. It's not like any of the troopers around here are jumping up to volunteer. If you had a few dozen doses of Psycho on you, maybe we could pep those weepy troopers into charging down into Nelson and taking back the camp. But since that's not likely, you could help me take out the Legion's trooper hostages.
Hilariously, if you do have 24 doses of Psycho on you, you can actually say, hey, I've actually got that, would you like it? Though tragically he won't take it, give it to the troopers and then storm the town. It's just a fun little Easter egg. But yes, this guy wants me to mosey down into town and take out the NCR hostages as a form of mercy killing, and also to remove the Legion's leverage. Though obviously you can also volunteer to try and rescue them if you want to.
Back at Ranger School, they taught us not to run headlong into a battle when you're outnumbered 10-1. You want to go down there and try to haul those crippled boys off those poles? You're dumber than you look.
So yes, he doesn't exactly think it's a good idea, but he's not gonna stop me either. And hilariously, despite what he just said about, you know, it being a terrible idea to just charge all guns blazing into a Legion position, etc, etc, that's not precisely what he does. He just goes up onto the Ranger and opens fire on all of the Legion down below. In fact, he'll happily take up most of the town by himself. Still, just a mosey down the hill, poke your nose into town, and yes, thanks to the weird way that reputation works in this game, the Legion has no problem with me, despite the fact I, you know, arrived with a Ranger Milo on the ridge over there, just, you know, poking around town, looting the corpses, etc, etc. They only get angry if you interact with these here NCR troopers, because, yes, the whole point is that these guys are functionally hostages, so if you kill them or release them, the local Legion troops will get a bit annoyed. Luckily, that's not actually why I'm here. Instead, I want to go and chat to the local Legion commander, who's in this shack right here. Though before I do that, I just want to nip into, yes, the other shack, the first set of Legion barracks, because we've got NCR troopers. They have got some flipping, yes, beautiful dog tags on their person, and I'm going to be needing those dog tags down the line. But yes, the real destination is right here. The other Nelson barracks are on the right, because, as I say, the Legion are just a super chiller about you just moseying in to say hi to the local commander, dead say.
My orders are to hold Nelson. So far, the enemy north of here has been too frightened to move against us. Why should it concern you?
And what if I was to maybe help break the stalemate, my friends?
If you're so eager to see Camp Forlorn Hope fall, why don't you go attack it all by yourself? Well?
Okay, I'll be right back, good sir. Just give me 5 minutes. And there we go. Thus begins We Are Legion. A nice simple mission that just involves moseying up to a nearby NCR camp and murdering all the officers. So, okay. We came to this place, helping out the NCR. Now what we've done is switch sides to the Legion, which is fine. But yes, let's just say we've got a little bit of back and forth to do yet. But for the time being, lovely. We have now got these here quest markers on the map, telling us where these targets are, and thus accordingly, where Camp Forlorn Hope is. So, you might think it looks nice and nearby. But we most definitely do not want to go this way, like just walking north to get there. That is open ground close to the Colorado River. It is Fire Gecko territory. There are mines. You do not want to go that way. Instead, just step back outside, and yes, my next move is to return to Novak. From here, we just headed due north. So yeah, Old Lady Gibson, we have passed by previously. That's all absolutely fine. And yeah, a good next point to check in with would be Helios One right there. And if we go direct from Gibson over to Helios, that should be completely safe, right? There should be nothing between me and there. Better and better. The sun is setting. It's going to be dark soon, and that's ideal because, yes, shortly stuff's going to get a bit more dangerous. So, it being night, enemies having low visibility, that'd be good. Because in a perfect world, I'd like to not have to burn a stealth boy in open ground around here. But obviously, yes, if it turns out to be necessary, I absolutely will. Still, as I was saying, nice and chill, super easy to get here. So let's just say hello to the locals.
This is a restricted area. State your business.
And would you believe I'm with the NCR? So speech of 35, it gets me inside and nice and easy. That's also enough to begin that lucky old sun, so yes, we could get working on fixing up this power plant, but that I think we're not going to be doing, at least for the time being. But while we're passing by, we most definitely will nip inside, because yes, there's a couple of things I would really not mind grabbing. For one, because I'm here officially as a member of the NCR and whatnot, I could just help myself into some very valuable supplies I can sell down the line. Beautiful. And if we just take the steps upstairs off of the main corridor here, obviously, one, there's one of the passwords you would need in here if you were going to be doing the Helios One business. And on top of that, another skill book. And in fact, yes, the same skill book we just picked up a second ago. We've now got 2 DC Journals of Internal Medicine. Which is not the most useful skill in the world for someone who literally can't heal, but, let's just say, yes, it's got a few more uses than you might actually be expecting. Still, back outside, this is where things get a bit more dicey. So yes, I'm rather glad the sun's gone down and it's getting a bit darker. We now need to mosey eastwards and, yeah, this bit of the world, tiny bit more dangerous. There's potentially fire geckos. There's also mole rats who aren't so tough, but they can travel in groups. They can get on top of you. They're fast. They're not nothing. So, okay, just take it slow. Take it easy. If you go into caution, consider activating that stealth boy. You've got 10 of them. Be willing to use them. But yeah, step 1 should not be so bad. We just want to mosey eastwards. Make our way to the highway. Make sure we've got something out we can use to that scan. Beautiful. So yeah, in this bit of the world, just eyes open for the odd mole rat. It's too far to the west for fire geckos, but as we head further and further east, we're entering their territory. So just, you know, watch out for that. For the time being, though, looks pretty chill. Very often, yeah, this bit of the world is okay, because travelling merchants, like the one we saw earlier, and in fact the one we got these very nails off, they go up and down this highway. So they could do a good job at keeping the local pests down. So far, though, looks pretty chill, all things considered. If we go too far to the north, there's a raider ambush by a billboard. That would be bad. We don't want that. So yeah, we've made it to the highway. There is the billboard in question. So right, nice and chill so far. Now we just need to orientate ourselves properly. Because once we cross this here highway, stuff can get a little bit nastier. In particular, there we go. That wind farm, that's Cazador territory. We do not want to be anywhere near that. And we also don't want to be getting too nearby to... There we go. I think you can just see a raider in the distance there. But yeah, at night and at this range, no chance they can see me. So all I want to do is go between the two. And keep my eyes open for any potential fire geckos in this bit of the world. But so far, looks nice and quiet. Just head, yeah, northeast-east. We should be a-okay. This is the safer way, to my mind, to get to Camp Forlorn Hope. I do not want to be going over open ground north of Nelson. Bad call. But once we're here, there's nothing on the compass, and there's not, yeah, just head towards that little sticky uppy McJibble right there. That's not actually the camp. The camp is, yeah, a little bit more in that direction, as you can see from the quest markers, but it does give you a useful direction to follow. But yeah, step 1, looking nice and smooth so far. Yep, nice and calm, literally nothing there on this occasion, spot on. So yeah, just go up the slope here. Once you see that McJibble, just take a right, and we should be pretty much right at Camp Forlorn Hope. There we flipping go. So okay, we can just mosey on in. Much like Nelson the Legion, the NCR have no problem whatsoever with a random civilian wandering around the camp for some reason. So okay, weapons away, we are now, I was about to say safe, but actually not necessarily. One thing to be careful of in this bit of the world. There is a graveyard out back, which is not just a bit of storytelling. There we flipping go. I think you can see down there, actually. A couple of bloatflies do occasionally show up there. So there are enemies not really nearby, but yes, eventually the NCR will notice and go and deal with them if they get too close to camp. So just keep your head down on this side of the camp, just in case you attract some trouble. Anyway, my job right now is murder. This is one of the guys I need to kill to make the Legion happy. But we're not going to be doing that, because, yes, we're now switching sides again back to the NCR. Here we go, Major Platley, probably moseying on his way to bed right now, but no, good sir, tell me more about what I could do to help first.
I've got the Legion at Nelson breathing down my neck and not enough men or supplies to get this camp into fighting shape so we can strike back. I need someone to talk to a few of the officers and help them resolve some of the problems around here. Quartermaster Mays has been complaining to me non-stop about the lack of supplies. But unfortunately, we aren't getting a resupply anytime soon. I want you to speak with him and see if there's anything you can do for him.
So yes, basically these are two missions that exist in direct opposition to each other. Restoring a Hope helping out the NCR camp, and We Are Legion murdering its leaders. So naturally, we're going to be helping out a little bit. Tell me more about the problems, Quartermaster Mays.
The Major let me send out some troops to gather supplies, but unfortunately they never returned. I'm guessing they ran into some trouble on the way. You can help by finding the troops and assisting them in bringing back any supplies they found.
So alright, go moseying around looking for some troops, potentially ask after them at Helios One, bring supplies, and nice and simple. So, thanks to the fact we started at Helios One before we came here, we can just fast travel straight back over to those guys. And luckily, they've got some very useful information.
If you're trying to track them down, we put a GPS marker in the supply crate. You can track it with your Pip-Boy. Good luck.
And there we go. We've now got an exact location to go on a visit, and... you know what? I don't actually know off the top of my head whether the crates are already there if you just go to the right location, or if you've got to speak to these guys first. Genuinely not sure. But yeah, the crate is closer to Forlorn Hope, so we'll just fast travel back to those guys in order to begin the journey. And then, yes, we're going to be doing something a little bit on the weird side, potentially. Okay, though, first, hang on. We've got gunfire. Is that just you guys back at camp, dealing with the flipping bloatflies in the graveyard? Don't like random gunfire. I think that was just, you know, people shooting at the... Never mind, they're not cooking it done yet. No, seriously, who's firing and what at? Okay, the soldiers are moving back into camp from the graveyard. Pretty sure that was just the bloatflies being cleared out. So, okay, back onto the open plain that we passed through a second ago, because now we know the supplies are down here. Here we go, just follow the quest marker until we find our destination. However, what the game's about to do is something very mean, and also something New Vegas almost never does, which is a straight-up ambush where enemies materialize out of a non-existence, because the Legion will just pop up and start shooting you the moment you take that box. But there's no Legion round here. You can, like, you know, search under every rock, behind every bush, etc., etc. There are no Legion anywhere near here. But they will pop into existence the moment you pick up those supplies. There is, however... Oh, hang on. There is, however, a problem. Which is... fire geckos. There's fire geckos over there. Okay, so that just changed the arithmetic of what's going on, precisely. You see, I was about to, you know, talk all about disguises in this game, because when you put on faction armor, you officially become a member of that faction as far as that faction's concerned, with a couple of small exceptions, but okay, let's just keep things simple for the time being. The point is, if you put on this armor, and then collect the supplies, the Legion will spawn in, but they won't actually attack you, because they'll just see you as another member of the Legion. I was just going to put this armor on, grab the supplies, go and say hi to the Legion, then walk out. It was going to be super cool and stylish. Then Fire Gecko showed up. Fire Geckos can't be fooled using a disguise, so... okay, I think it's time for another stealth boy, which is not ideal, but what's the point of having them if you're not going to use them? And I'm going to keep this armor on anyway, just in case I get detected down the line or whatnot. So, yeah. We're keeping that armor on, but we're also going into stealth mode. So, okay, we've got John. Check the time. Okay, 4 AM. So we've got until 6:40. So now we just go down over here. Don't worry about, yes, those are fire geckos. Jack, get all of the dog tags as well. That's 3 of them. They're going to be very useful down the line. That is a-okay. Ignore everything else. Go into here. Grab the supplies. Just a second. There we go. There's a flipping Legion person, was this? Oh! I think possibly more Legion people spawned over there, actually, so... the fact you're attacking someone makes me think, yes, like, literally one of the Legion ambushers spawned right on top of those fire geckos, and they're now attacking him. I think that's what must be happening, though. There's nothing going. Yeah, he's nice and chill, because one, he's not detected me, and two, even if he were to detect me, I'd be a member of the Legion, so... once again, we've just got Legion of people everywhere. But they are super chill, and also not worried about the fire geckos. Possibly I could have got away with this without using the stealth boy, because, yeah, the fire geckos are held over there, so I feel like that was a waste of, yes, a flipping stealth boy, but... once again, there's no such thing as wasting a stealth boy. If it keeps you safe, that's good. The point is, I've got the supplies, I've not had to deal with the Legion ambush, and I was about to say, let's just fast travel back to Camp Forlorn Hope. No, let's definitely not do that, because right now, you're dressed as a member of the Legion, John, so, okay, just get a bit further away, then change out to the Legion armor, and then fast travel, because if you show up at an NCR camp dressed as the Legion, yeah, stuff's gonna go wrong in a hurry. Right, that should be far enough away. Put my spacesuit back on. Lovely. And back to Camp Forlorn Hope. Spot on. And yes, there's probably a good chance I've got a fair bit of time. Oh yeah, I've got like an hour and 20 minutes till that thing wears off. Beautiful. Still, hand over the supplies. Let's move on to step 2 of this here mission. Step 2 being a lot more interesting. Because yes, like I was saying earlier, medicine's not great because I can't heal myself. But that doesn't mean I can't step in and do a bit of doctoring to other people.
With business booming like it is, and considering I'm the only person with medical experience in the camp, I could perhaps use a hand. Do you have any medical experience?
The NCR standards are hilariously low. Medicine of just 20, and he's happy to let you poke at his patients. This is a really fun little micro mission, by the way, because, yeah, you've got 3 troopers here who all need to be taken care of, and medicine at 35. So yeah, if you've got the medicine skill, you can just treat him with medicine. Alternatively, you can use medical equipment to treat him. On this occasion, Med-X, whiskey, and surgical tubing. And most of those supplies, or not 100% of them, can be found somewhere inside this tent. But even so, you've got to have medicine of, I think it's at least a 25, otherwise you'll botch the surgery anyway. Luckily, I most certainly do. In fact, yeah, with just a tiny bit of intelligence boosting, hang about here. Was I 35 or 36? No, 34 actually. So that's a fine, just keep downing the mentats, beautiful. Medicine at 36, so yes, we could just use medicine. So, there we go, we clean the wounds, we apply antibiotics, we stitch them closed, the patient will recover in full. And we even get a good old pile of experience for that too. The others, unfortunately, yes, that's going to be trickier. Because this guy needs a medicine of 15. Unfortunately, buddy, you need to be dealt with, yes, medical equipment. So you need a medical brace, a Med-X, and bone saw. Med-X I've definitely got. Medical brace and bone saw we need to grab. And you, sir, tweezers, Med-X, and a super stim pack. And I'm pretty sure I've got a super stim pack. I grabbed it, like, you know, just from sitting around in a first aid box long ago, in case I needed it for precisely this scenario. So, right, 1 bone saw. That is a medical brace at the back there. Unfortunately, these syringes are empty. We needed also, hang on, tweezers are over here, I think, and that's a scalpel. I know there we go, there's tweezers. So yes, use medical equipment on this chappie. We've definitely got the medical brace, the bone saw, and the Med-X. Unfortunately, I am now eating into my own Med-X supplies for the time being. And yes, the first guy made a full recovery. This guy, unfortunately, yes, we had to amputate a leg and also a hand. So, yes, I'm pretty sure he would have got a better result had we used the medicine skill. And finally, you good sir, yet more medical equipment, tweezers, Med-X, and super stim pack. And okay, you made it out with all your limbs. Congratulations! So, everyone's going to survive. You're very welcome, Dr. Richards. That completes stage 2 of Restoring Hope, but before we mosey onwards, one more thing I could do with Dr. Richards here. Just dig into his dialogue tree and yes, he will speculate as somebody might be stealing his supplies.
Unfortunately, I don't have time to go searching for the missing supplies since I have my hands full with injured soldiers.
So okay, I could look into this for you, Dr. Richards. Now naturally, this mission normally requires a fair bit of medical knowledge. Digging into, yes, precisely what's missing leads to a medicine 50 check I cannot pass. And even if thanks to the magic of having played New Vegas before you know who's responsible, you can't pin it on him because, yes, without medicine 50, you don't know what the symptoms of using those drugs would be. Luckily, there is one way to resolve this without needing a high medicine skill. All we need to do is mosey into the barracks and speak with a Private Sexton here, and start asking after the missing medical supplies.
We all have our own ways to deal with this place. Me, I sometimes walk at night. Calms the nerves. I think Private Stone does the same thing.
And okay, Private Stone, you say?
I sometimes see him wandering around the camp. Oh, he seems to need more time to himself. His cot's still empty when I return after midnight. Did you need anything else?
And no, Private Sexton, I think that'll do quite nicely. Because now we've got something to throw in this guy's face, we can convert that medicine check into a speech check, though I'm pretty sure it's speech 50. But yeah, if I was to just blend a little bit of Mentats, which is already Charisma +1, with some booze, and then a different family of booze, and then on top of that put on some sexy sleepwear. Gosh darn it, I can't stack the charismas. So yes, alcohol 1 is giving me the +1 charisma, but alcohol 2, which is the beer, that only gives me the strength because yes, I can't benefit from charisma from 2 different families of alcohol. Okay, I really don't want to blow a meeting people on this, so plan B. I am actually currently very close to a level up, so what we're gonna do is finally get round to turning in a cold heart and keep your eyes on the prize. I had not forgotten about these, I was just keeping them in hand for the moment where I needed a tiny bit of XP just to push me over the line at a convenient moment. So, back to the Mojave outpost we go. And yes, just how 2 separate people about Nipton being burnt down and whatnot. Lovely.
We'll never stop them. Not at this rate. We're doomed. Thanks for bringing the word. Even if the news is bad, I'll let the men know.
I do enjoy that, yes, the implication is he's just going to go tell the other troops, we're doomed. Like, that's the official NCR position going forward. Beautiful. Still, add that into some extra XP from a good old Ranger Ghost here.
Legion this far west? You're fucking kidding me. That's not outside the border. They're moving in, and fast. Nipton wasn't the most friendly town, but... Alright, thanks for checking on that. Wish it set my mind at ease. Now I'm more on edge than ever.
And there we go. She's much less panicked about the situation, and that should get me a bit more XP too. Beautiful, 180 XP, straight up to level 7. Spot on. So yeah, let's just get speech up to 46, so as a result, yeah, with armor and 1 bit of booze, I can do speech checks of 50, and nice and easy. And beyond that, yeah, I'm actually tempted to go for some melee weapons here, because let's just say we're going to be using melee weapons in just a moment, and I would therefore like my skill to be nice and high. Yeah, I think I'll take that, and then just 3 more points in sneak. Lovely. Right, back to the beautiful red filter of a Camp Forlorn Hope here. And now with some sexy sleepwear and a quick beer or whatnot, we should be, hang on, just make sure we are where we should be right now. Speech of 50, lovely. So, Private Stone, I've heard some stories about, yes, you going for some walks at night or whatnot.
I do what now? I mean, yeah, I sometimes need to stretch my legs. Helps me, think.
Private Stone, I know what's really going on. Tell me the truth, please.
Well, sometimes I sneak into the medical tent at night and borrow some of the medical supplies. But it's not what you think. I can explain everything. Just hear me out.
And okay, we now know who did it. until tried to bribe me into staying quiet by offering me a share of the drugs, but shame on you, Private Stone. Not least as the drugs in question are Hydra, so I can't use those in YOLO. Like, if it was Psycho, I'd consider it, but no, not for Hydra, Private Stone. So, turn in a Private Stone, and that wraps up this mission, and nice and easy.
Is that so? I'll have to talk to Major politely about this right away.
So, another 270 XP, we get some NCR fame, life is good. Right, in which case, back to the Major though. And you know what? Before I forget about it, I could just, like, you know, get hidden away in a corner, like hide behind this typewriter or whatnot. There is a big book of science here, so yeah, you just nap off over there. There we go, good, 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 good. 3 points of science, I'm not gonna say no. Because yeah, if we do that, up to 29. Not exactly spectacular, though part of that is, yes, the fact I am drunk, as I regularly am during this run, as I need booze to prop up my charisma.
With the help you've given us, we're doing a little bit better, but we still have the Legion forces at Nelson to deal with. If we can retake Nelson, that will be a huge help to our efforts in this area and give us an advantage at Hoover Dam.
And okay, basically now we move in to the last stage of this here mission, taking back Nelson, and I do enjoy Restoring a Hope, because Restoring a Hope is really, really bloody interesting, which is the NCR force that accompanies you to Nelson is a function of how much you've done locally. So if you just do the bare minimum, get the supplies back, heal the guys, kick off the final attack, basically it's going to be, yeah, you and 2 basic troopers taking on the entire town by yourself, minus anyone Ranger Milo murdered earlier. So yes, that could be very dangerous, and to be honest, you'll end up doing most of the work. For me, that doesn't work particularly well. Now, you can bulk up the forces really significantly, if you do things like, say, handing over NCR dog tags to the quartermaster. But I don't want to do that because, yes, I want to hand those dog tags over to the Legion when the time is right. So, there's not much I could do to bulk up the NCR attack, and the actual troops you go in with, they're not willing to storm the buildings. So, Dead Sea, the commander we spoke to earlier, you need to go in and deal with him by yourself. And he's got 2 bodyguards, so that's not really a good idea. And as a result... Right, we're not doing that, Major. We're in fact changing sides once again. So, forget Restoring a Hope, and now we move over to We Are Legion. So, kill the NCR officers. And there are 4. This guy we've been speaking to, Reyes over here, who also kicks off a return to sender, then the Doctor, who've already spoken to, and the Quartermaster, who we spoke to first. They all need to die. Now, mostly, this is not too bad, because during the day, these guys are, you know, in company and whatnot. At night, they go to bed. With one exception. Reyes doesn't sleep. Somehow, she just does without that whole nonsense. Stays here, by the radio, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So, 3 of these guys, we could kill pretty easily. Reyes might be a bit more of a problem. So, okay, let's step outside and, blimey, I was about to say wait until night. It turns out it's already night, just possibly not late enough for What's-His-Face to have gone to bed. So, yeah, let's just get 3 hours past and see if that's good enough. Hang on, I've got more drugs wearing off here. That's the beer wearing off. That's fine. So, okay. This guy goes to bed over here. The Doctor, I think, should be turning into bed. There we go. He's in bed over there. And then we have got, hangabout. There's the Quartermaster, who is sometimes in, I think, this tent, or possibly one tent round the corner. Sometimes he's in, like, the bus beyond that. He just sort of seems to vary. So, here's what we're going to do. We need to take out all these people without anybody flipping realising. Now, the 3 people who are asleep in their little tents, that's not too much of a problem. So, there's the Major, right there. We can just get around here, go into hidden, but yeah. If anyone sees the corpses, everyone might go into caution for a minute. Like, say, that guy might see something. So it's very important that I don't get seen while I'm in this camp. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to burn a stealth boy, because I'm going to need one to take out Reyes. And Reyes we're going to take out last, though, you know what? If you're going this way right now, then yeah, we'll do this guy first, because he won't be in sight of everybody. My upgraded bat is going to be helpful, because do bear in mind, these guys are wearing a proper thick NCR armor. We've seen it before. That's got DT of like 10. So, okay. All we want to do is, well, one, jump, check the time. 20 past midnight. So that means if I activate a stealth boy now, I've got till 3 AM. After that, it wears off. And I do think we do want to be activating a stealth boy. So, yeah. In a perfect world, down to 8 on this occasion. Let's make sure no one detects me. I'm pretty sure it was him detecting me. So, right. All we do is, you know what, that's... I'm almost certain I could take that out, but just in case, I'm going to go over to some Psycho, just to boost the damage even more. Just to make sure this is a one-hit kill, because if it's not, this goes wrong. So, okay. Step 1, you go down. Nobody should have witnessed that. Yep, still hidden. It's possible someone will see a corpse. I've just failed to know not much, which is a small NCR mission down the line. Don't worry about that. So, okay. Also restoring a hope. That's fine. I was appreciating that that one was probably going to fail. Wait for you to be passed. Beautiful. Dr. Richards, who is much less well defended. Down you go, good sir. Help myself to... Okay, I was about to say just ammo, but no. Wasteland Surgeon. For only 2 weight, yeah, being able to boost my medicine by 5. Not bad, though we sort of glitching into a wall there, I think. Don't think anyone's seen a corpse yet. So, okay. Keep on keeping on. Stay down and... No, I didn't have my light on, that's fine. Always check. So, okay. Next up, Quartermaster. Who's generally, yes, either in a tent or in the bus shelter. It's hard to say which he's going to be in. So, I think on this occasion, he is in the tent. That is better, if so. Because that puts him, yeah, less in sight of anybody. So, you, sir, go down to a nice grand slam. Beautiful. Goes down. No one sees a thing. Help myself to his stuff. The storage, despite being, yes, like, you know, flipping very hard locked. There's basically nothing in there, so don't bother going in there. That's fine. His dog tag is way more valuable. So, okay. With him done, that just leaves Reyes in the central command tent. So, we can take her out. I mean, you know, in the sense we could definitely kill her. Trick's gonna be getting away with it without anyone, you know, minding, objecting, panicking, shooting me, etc., etc. It's possible we may need to, you know, run out into the graveyard if things go wrong. What I want is you guys to form up into good positions. Like previously, we've seen this guy sitting there, and that guy sitting down, in fact. Oh, hang on, is that good enough? I don't trust that. Okay, hang on. I've got time. We've got, like, you know, another hour and 40 minutes before this stealth boy wears off. I'm willing to wait for you guys to be in, yes, a proper position where you definitely don't see Reyes die in the corner of your eye. So, okay. I need you guys to... Oh, this could be it. This could be... Yes, sit down. And you are... Okay, you're sitting down. You've got that flipping blackboard there, but I'm not 100% sure I trust that. So, like... Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Go and sit down, buddy. You know what? I think this is fine. This should be safe. We might need to cocking run for it if it's not. So, one Grand Slam to finish you off. That is a sneak attack crit. Good. Just grab her stuff and her dog tag. Why not? And now just go. 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 The fact that we didn't enter caution means we just got away with that. Good. So as a result of that, we should be able to just, yeah, immediately naff off. Because if no one is hostile to me, that means, yeah, I can wait or I can fast travel. So straight back to Nelson. Okay. Tiny bit dicey right at the end, but yeah, no one even went red for a second, which I think means no one even saw a corpse. So, right. That is very positive, Yeah, there is a particular reason I chose to do this, as my stealth boy wears off, which is, yeah, Dead Sea gives me something. A very special reward for doing what I just did.
A glorious victory. You must be very satisfied. I'll send word of your achievement. Perhaps Caesar will see fit to send another Count of Bernium to occupy the camp. Here, take this. My blade. It was a gift from my centurion upon the defeat of the Sundog tribe.
And there we go. We complete We Are Legion. Beautiful. Pick up some Legion of Fame. Magnificent. And also, we've just got the Liberator. And this thing, by the way, is an absolute cocking beast. Like, I think this possibly deserves the title of most underrated weapon in all of New Vegas. Because, you know, if you ever look up lists of top melee weapons in New Vegas or whatever, Liberator never really seems to show up anywhere high on those lists. Because people get obsessed with high damage and high DPS. And the Liberator is not the highest damage weapon or the highest DPS weapon in the game. Not by a long shot. But that bonus limb damage, bloody hell, it is not cocky kidding. This weapon has got, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm pretty certain about this, the best limb damage multiplier in the entire game. Every time you hit an enemy with this, the limb that it hits is taking a 2.5 times more damage than it should do ordinarily, which is a huge, huge increase. Like, fine, Chance's Knife is doing a, 118 DPS, Liberator is down at only 87, but just think about this for a second. In New Vegas, what happens when you break a limb? The enemy very dramatically grabs their arm, grabs their leg, etc, etc. And while they're doing that, they can't do anything to you. This is basically a staggering weapon. Like, at a cost of a tiny bit of DPS versus Chance's Knife, you're going to be potentially preventing your enemy from doing anything. Just move in, whack your enemy round the head, round the arms, round the legs, etc, etc. And there is a good chance they will just be stuck. And even the toughest enemies do the stagger animation, so... oh yeah. On occasion, this thing could be an absolute flipping beast. And okay, as we step back outside, this is where we need to make one of those difficult choices, because I was kind of hoping I could, clear out the camp at Forlorn Hope, and get back here in time to take these guys down off their crosses when I start some juice in that stealth boy. Because, it will make the Legion hostile if I take down these guys, but if I do it, then just sneak away before they see me, that's just basically a free quest completion. We could just do back in your own backyard to pick up some NCR fame, that will be fine. But the stealth boy wore off because taking out Reyes took a bit of time, meaning if I want to do this and do it safely, I've got to activate another stealth boy. And I've already used 2 today, and gained none back, so... I am really sorry, guys. But it's actually not worth a stealth boy for just like 300 odd XP and a bit of NCR fame. I am so sorry. Still, I would say having picked up a powerful new weapon from the Legion, how about we call it a punt there? But next time... right. I reckon we might be about to unlock some very sexy new ways of fighting. Because I was talking about, yes, the power of unarmed at the start of this episode, but a whole bunch of unarmed's real potential only becomes unlocked when you hit 50 in that skill. And I can't help but notice that, yes, we are very close to hitting another level up already, and I'll be able to hit 50 as soon as I do, so... okay, let's just say there's going to be some very, very exciting new development in the field of how I approach combat in this run coming up next episode, so hopefully you join me next time for that. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been a Fallout New Vegas, You Only Live Once. Thank you very much, and goodbye. If we just hide the bodies, nobody needs to know about this. Yes! My stupid plan has worked! It turns out I'm a genius! The giant rat scorpion is not gone! Oh, hang on, there's more yet, though. I'm still being very shocked. Guys, where's the NCR? Nobody needs to know.